The Korean wave, or Hallyu, has become a widespread global phenomenon. The end of the 1997 Asian financial crisis was a key turning point in modern Korean history. It marked the end of South Korean military and government intervention within its entertainment industry. And it also came around the time satellites allowed for media to broadcast on a much larger scale. The new freedom obtained by the Korean entertainment industry has led to an unprecedented global rise of Korean pop culture products in the present, whether it be Korean songs, food, films or dramas, and even manhwa or webtoons. Korean dramas in particular showcase the brilliant talent pool of writers, actors, cinematographers, composers, and more. I'll be analyzing a 2019 Korean drama called Kingdom. This drama takes place in an alternate Joseon era, shortly after the Imjin War. One might ask why the Joseon era, or its aspects, feature prevalently in many Korean products, even dramas that aren't necessarily historically focused. The admiration and interest for this period among Koreans stems from the fact that it's the most recent and relatively long-lasting era before Japanese colonial rule, lasting over 500 years. This recency also allows it to be well remembered generationally, due to the widespread historical records and cultural products still intact from the period. I'll be providing evidence for how the Kingdom drama, despite its historical setting, showcases class inequality, government corruption and control, and difficulties of social mobility, all of which are very relevant to the modern world. The Kingdom drama itself takes features from modern setting dramas and provides a refreshing twist to the historical plagues of the Joseon era, in the form of supposedly nocturnal zombies. The story is centered around the Joseon crown prince, Li Chang of Yi. His father, the king of Joseon, comes down with a mysterious illness, which, as you can guess, is the zombie plague. The corrupt high-ranking officials under the state councilor Cho Hak-ju try to conceal this information from the public and even from Li Chang himself. Cho takes control of the nation in a dictatorial fashion. It is later found that Cho is the reason the king turned into a zombie, as he ordered the king to be treated with a mysterious resurrection plant after he died normally by smallpox in order to fool the nation. Here is where the drama showcases evident class inequality and the implicit difficulties of moving up the social ladder. When an attendant is attacked by the king in his quarters, he dies from illness, and his body is transported to a clinic by the royal physician, full of sick peasants. There is so little food to feed all of the patients, and a patient named Young-shin, out of pure hunger, decides to go hunting and cook food for himself and all the patients. The clinic nurse, Sobi, questions the source of all the food, and quickly finds out that the food has been sourced from the corpse. This becomes a disaster, as all the people who ate the food vomit, die, and become zombies when evening comes, killing all the survivors who didn't eat except for Young-shin and Sobi, who escaped. Young-shin is pushed by starvation and takes extreme measures to save himself and others, who don't question what they are eating to survive. All of this stems from the major divide between the elite Yangban and the commoner Chunmin or Yangin class. The failings of the state when it comes to food provisions, agriculture, and other basic needs are clear from the safety and luxurious lifestyle enjoyed by the elite classes in the state's interior. There are many examples of mass suffering due to the resource hoarding of governments. Modern North Korea, countries across modern Africa, communist China, and France before the revolution. However, these are all surface level connections. It doesn't have to be about food. What about even in the most developed economies, like South Korea itself, where working age men and women are forced to constantly take loans, which they know will lead them further into ruin, but out of the seriousness of their situation and rising cost of living, they have no other choice. When the focus is on just surviving and not living, the gap continues to increase. You will have fewer opportunities, education, and advancement. It becomes very difficult to move up the social ladder. It's a negative feedback cycle. Only the peasants ate that meat, not the elite. Health crises and environmental crises tend to disproportionately affect those who are marginalized or of the lower class, even when problems come from the elite. Class inequality leads to inequality of risks. You just saw the irony in how a problem that literally came from the king of Joseon himself affected the poorest people first. When soldiers arrive at the clinic ruins, the stored corpses are brought back to the interior, much to Young-shin's anger. and he desperately tries to stop the corpse transport. At evening, the corpses reanimate and wreak havoc, and Prince Chang watches helplessly as the innocent people are killed. At daylight, emergency is declared, and there are plans to evacuate, but only one transport ship remains intact. These scenes show a contrast between ideal and corrupt rule. The government officials decide to hoard the ship and not let any of the commoners get on. In contrast, Chang takes it on himself to save as many of the left-behind survivors as he can, to their gratitude. The zombies in this show serve as a great equalizer. Everyone now has a common goal: to survive and escape the zombies. What differs is how they achieve this goal, and whether they decide to prioritize their own well-being or others as well. In reality, the real villains in this show are humans and their insatiable greed. When we look at Prince Chang, he isn't giving the people provisions from a place of higher station due to the state of the country. He is sacrificing his standing, and he is going down the social ladder. He seeks shelter for everyone, sleeps under the same roof as everyone else, and he eats like everyone else, because he has a moral duty to provide in exchange for the benefits and political power he symbolizes. He wants to prove that he is different from his political opponents, who neglect the lives of the masses without a second thought. This is discussed by political philosopher Thomas Hobbes in his work Leviathan, where he outlines the theory of a social contract and the exchange between ruler and subject. Rulers are only allowed to have power if they can guarantee security and order in society. According to the theory, if this contract is broken by either the ruler or the subject, the society falls. In this scenario, the ruling class is breaking the contract by seeking security for themselves, while Prince Chang is trying to re-establish it by preventing the resulting chaos for the lower class. In the real world, we have seen people revolt against their rulers when they feel injustice, total control, and their corruption. The current Iran protests, the uprisings in Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Some revolutions are peaceful and end up being great for the nation itself. Some are violent and end up with good or bad outcomes. Even if they are right to do so, could these actions be seen as the people breaking their end of the contract? When you look at the Arab Spring protests against authoritarian rulers across the Arab world and North Africa, some of these countries actually ended up economically worse after successful revolts. Was it right for these people to act or not? It's not an easy answer. That concludes my analysis of Kingdom. And if this video were allowed to go longer, we could sit here analyzing the scene from this drama for hours. Thanks for watching.